book of James, chapter 5, verse 7. It says, "Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain." First one, give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai is the Messiah, the Anointed, which these are the true names of the Most High God and the only begotten Son of the Most High. Again, the name of the Most High is Yahweh, and the name of the Lamb of God, the Messiah, is Yahweh Shai, which these are the true names of the Most High, the Heavenly Father, and His only begotten Son. The only names in the ancient Hebrew tongue. Right, and this lesson is going to be concerning on how our sorrow is going to be turned into joy. Right, because in this world, those of us that's acknowledge this truth and have been enlightened, our sorrow increased. Right, because when you increase in knowledge, when you gain more knowledge, you gain more sorrow, you gain more grief. And yeah, that's the highlight of this video. And Lord willing, this video is edifying. So just let's get the book of James, chapter 5 and 7. It says, "Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain." And yeah, who are we waiting for? We waiting for Yahweh Shai, and we waiting patiently for it. Right, and during this waiting period, if you will, we have to endure much tribulation, much trials, if you will. Which, when you endure some, you have to undergo difficulty, if you will. It says, verse 8, it says, "Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh." Jump down to verse 11, verse 10, Salakia. It says, "Take, my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience." Yeah, considering the apostles, they work out their own salvation with fear and trembling. While they was on this earth, they understood that their time on this earth was a temporary stay. This is a temporary stay, a place where we have to go through things, especially those of us that know the truth. It says, "Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job." And Job, he went through it. It says, "And have seen the end of the Lord." Yeah, Yahweh Shai, he was brought to honor, sat down by the Father, if you will. He was changed. Now he liveth forevermore, if you will. It says that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. Yeah, let's go to the highlight of this video. Let's get the book of Psalms. Real quick. Book of Psalms, chapter 30, Psalm chapter 30, verse 5. It says, "For his anger endureth but a moment, and his favor is life." Yeah, because in the past we transgressed the laws of the Lord and we trespassed against them. Right? We walked in unpleasant places. You know, we became worthy of death, worthy of punishment. You know, it says, in his favor is life. It says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Yeah, you know, like I said, you know, being in this truth, you know, we gain sorrow and grief, which it tell you that in the book of Revelations, it tell you that the elect, you know, they love not their lives unto death. Why? Because that grief and sorrow, that tribulation, that difficulty that they're gonna go through, while the whole world is in pleasure in the house of feasting, you know, in the mindset or in the vibration of mirth. You know, we over here is understanding, we acknowledging the coming judgment, the coming punishment. Right? We acknowledge the battle that we're truly in, if you will. It says, weeping may endure for a night, and yeah, this is the night that we have to endure. It says, but joy cometh in the morning. Now, who's that joy? In fact, Yahushua, he's our life. Our life is hid with Mashiach. Yahushua is our life, man. And then ultimately we choose, those of us that's in this truth, we choose weeping, if you will, rather than joy. We choose meekness and humbleness rather than pride, if you will. We choose temperance. We choose self-control rather than indulgence and access. Right? Because we understand the coming downfall of this kingdom. I'm going to go more into it as well. Jump down to verse 11. It says, thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing. Yeah, this is the time of mourning, man. Right, the elect, they're in a house of mourning. The wise are the heart of the wise is in a house of mourning. In fact, let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 2. It says, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. And yet we're in the house of mourning, man. While the whole world, they're in the house of feasting. Right there in they're at ease, if you will. The world is at ease while we're, you know, working out our salvation with fear and trembling. We understand the dire situation that we're in. We understand the matter of life or death, man. This is the matter of life or death. Right? It says, for that is the end of all men. Because Jacob's troubles is coming, man. The great tribulation is coming. Famine is coming. World War III is coming, man. The second coming is coming. So and knowing that, we rather suffer now and get right You know, that you suffer later. That you suffer later, man. It says, verse 2, jump down to verse 3. Yeah, verse 3 says, sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. Yeah, which when you go into the book of Ephesians, it tell you that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Yeah, because we are in a spiritual battle. You know, we're in a spiritual battle, if you will. Which when you go into that word wrestle, it means struggle. To struggle, man. So we're in a spiritual struggle. And we know of this struggle, man. We're the ones that's, you know, fighting or struggling, man. While the whole world is ignorant concerning this wrestle, this war. But we understand the battle. It says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of the fools is in the house of mirth. So the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, man. In fact, let's get the book of 2nd Esdras real quick. Second Esdras, chapter 7, verse 17. It says, then answered I and said, O Lord, that bears rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. Now, what is the righteous going to inherit? Everlasting life, the kingdom of Yasha Allah. But the wicked, the ungodly shall perish. And we understand that. And knowing that, we understand the dire situation we in. What soldier in war, you know, is in the house of mirth? No, he's in the house of mourning, man. This is the time of get right, man. This is the time of righting our wrongs, if you will. It says, verse 18, it says, nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things. So yeah, we're suffering straight things, man. Whether mentally, physically. You know, it says, and hope for what? And yeah, that's what we're doing. We're hoping for the kingdom, to receive the kingdom. It says, for they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. The only difference between us and the wicked is that we're suffering first. We're going through it first. We're humbling ourselves first. We put it on the sackcloth. No. Symbolically speaking, we're rending our heart. Right, we're in a mode of weeping, trying to get right in the sight of the Lord. While the whole world was in the house of mirth, but soon they're going to suffer. And that's going to happen, you know, when great tribulation comes, man. And it's going to happen even more hereafter, thereafter, if you will. So we suffer now, and have joy later, while the world is in the house of mirth now, but they're going to go into the house of mourning later. You know? Let's get 2nd Esdras chapter 7 verse 57. It says, then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. Now we know of this battle, man. It's a battle, man. And knowing this truth, we know the reality of things. We know the severity, if you will. We acknowledge the severity of things, the seriousness of things, of the harshness of things, and that increase, and that, we gain, knowing that we gain sorrow and grief. Not willingly, it just comes, man. But still, having that, it's a profit, it's a benefit of gaining that sorrow and grief. It's a benefit of knowing the harshness of things, so we can get right. That's why we understand these things, man. It says, that's it on that. Let's go back. The book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 11. It says, "Thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing." Yeah, so while we're mourning now, hey, we gonna dance, man. We gonna enjoy later, man. Yeah, and that's gonna be when Yahushua come back and deliver us and gather us and redeem us. It says, thou hast put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness. So we're suffering now. We're wrestling now in this spiritual battle. But we gonna be girded soon enough with gladness, man. Yeah, going to one of the prophecies, when this land get destroyed, when America, Babylon the Great, get destroyed by nukes, we're gonna be above the firmament, beholding the destruction of this country, of this land. And ashes and fire is gonna be under our feet, under the soles of our feet, and we're gonna behold it, man. That's a prophecy. It says, "To the end that my glory may sing praise to thee, and not be silent, O Lord my God, I will give thee thanks." It says, "I will give thanks unto thee forever." In fact, let's go to the book of real quick. Let's go to the book of Luke chapter 10, verse 13. Because it's a transition, man. Even during times of famine. Before famine, if you will, let's touch on this. The world's in the house of feasting. And we're in the house of mourning, then famine is going to come. That's when we, the elect, that's been in the house of mourning. And Lord, well, I'm part of the elect. But when the elect that's in the house of mourning, when famine comes, the elect, they're going to be eating. They're going to be feasting, man. They're going to be in the house of feasting during times of famine. While the whole world, they're going to be starving to death, man. That's that transition, man. In times of war, the elect that have been so long in the house of mourning, they're going to be preserved. And they're going to have a spiritual hedge about them. And they're going to be, joyful, knowing that the Lord got them. While the whole world, they're going to be getting put to death. That's that transition, man. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 10. Verse 13. Luke chapter 10, verse 13. It says, "Woe unto thee," and these the sayings, the one where he reads the sayings of Yahushua. It says, woe unto thee, Chorazin, woe unto thee, Bethsaida, for if the mighty works have been done in Tyre and Sidon, which have been done in you, they had a great while ago repented, sitting in sackcloth and ashes. You know, even though, this gospel, it's good news. Gospel means good news. Even though we, receive this gospel, acknowledge this gospel, we understand the severity, if you will, the harshness of this reality that we're in. Because there's going to be many called, but few are chosen. That's another thing that we understand, that we acknowledge. Many are called, but few are chosen. Few is going to be saved. And that, knowing that, that adds on to more of our sorrow and grief. More to our struggle, if you will. So we understand our harshness, if you will. It says, and that's the mode that we're in. Sitting in sackcloth and ashes, humbling ourselves before the Lord. Or that's what we ought to do. Humble ourselves before the Lord. It says, but it shall be more tolerable for Tyre, it says, for Tyre and Sidon at the judgment than for you. This is the point. This is the transition. It says, verse 15. This is, and thou, Capernaum, which art exalted to heaven, shall be thrust down to hell. Now, when you go into the word Capernaum, it means village of comfort. Now, this was spoken against. This saying was spoken against, Capernaum, a literal village, which they were exalted. Which, when you go into the word exalted, it means high position. Basically, what it means, exalted unto heaven, meaning they were in ease. They were without care. They was in probably in access. Talking about Capernaum, it was probably in access. They were comforted by many things of the world. They were without care, man. When they should have been in sackcloth and ashes. When they should have been working out their own salvation with fear and trembling. It's not a time of dancing, man. It's not a time of mirth. It says, and thou, Capernaum, which are exalted to heaven, shall be thrust down to hell. Yeah, they were probably rich men in that city or in that town. They probably had a lot of substance and stuff like that. They were rejoicing, probably. But it was a prophecy that they were going to be thrust down, man. And that's somewhat like this in this world, man. This world, the people are exalted to heaven, especially in this country, America. Exalted onto heaven, man. Going to concerts, clubs, partying. Fulfilling their carnal desires. Talking about the people in this world. YOLO, they in a mode of YOLO, which is a saying which means you only live once. I remember hearing that as a young child, man. And they still carry on that same vibration of YOLO, do without wilt. They do all their pleasures, they do all their desires. They are without care in this world, in this country. While we that know this truth, we are with care. We have concerns, and our concern is basically about this, about our salvation, about this truth. That's our concern. This is the focus of our. This is the reasons. Basically, our salvation is the reason of a lot of our working out. Basically, We have anxiety because, especially, some brothers, and it's truth, we have anxiety because we're working or desiring that salvation, man. But it says, so hey, you people, man, you're gonna be thrust down to hell, man. Yeah, you're gonna starve, man, by famine. Yeah, you're gonna get killed in war. That's why it says, woe unto you that are at ease, that are secure, that are without care, that think you to be yourself to be safe in this country. When this country is going down, man. Yeah, in this country, there's entertainment, pleasure, such as celebrities, such as sports. Yeah, the clubs still open almost every night. Yeah, the bars still open. Yeah, these supermarkets is still flowing with food and merchandise. Yeah, there's concerts still going on in this country, in this world. But what happens when all these things are taken away? That's when you people are going to be in the house of mourning. That's when you people are going to go through it. While we, which were going through it beforehand, are going to go through it. I'm not going to go through it. That's when we going to be enjoying, man. Especially when Yahweh Shai come back. While you people are going to be burning in that lake of fire. But the elect, they're going to be preserved, if you will. They're going to get salvation. Let's get this real quick. Let's get the book of Philippians. I think it's Philippians. Salakia. First Peter. First Peter chapter 1 verse 6, it says, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations. So the elect, they're in some of the elect in the world, they're in heaviness, man. They're in the house of mourning. It says through manifold temptations, through trials and tribulations, personal, whether personal, mental, using a worldly example, if a parent as a child told you to get the house in order, if you will. For example, if your parent gone for a while and told you to get your room in order, get the house clean, and your parents on the way, and they tell you if you don't have this house clean or the dishes washed, I'm gonna beat you or whoop you. What mode, if you will, what mind do you think the kid is gonna be in? They gonna be in the mode of what? of knowing that dire situation, they're going to be in the mode of what? Getting right. Now that kid got anxiety, man. Now that kid is fearful because he understands that punishment that comes behind of what not, cleaning up. Using that example. It says, verse 7, it says that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua Mashiach. So at the appearing of Yahushua Mashiach, man, we gonna be joyful. It says whom. Matter of fact, let's get let's jump down to verse verse 17 says, and if ye call on the Father, who without respect of persons judgeth according to every man's work. And we understand that. We understand the terror of the Lord. We understand that the Lord is going to render every man their deeds, if you will, or their recompense. Salakia. I didn't mean to say deeds. I meant to say recompense. We understand the Lord is going to render every man their recompense. It says, pass this time of your sojourning here in fear. And that's what we do. We pass the time of our sojourning here in fear. Which when you go into the word sojourn, it means to temporary stay, if you will. And yeah, the time we have here, we're working out our own salvation with fear and trembling. That we may get salvation, man. But I'm gonna close off on that. Lord willing, this video is edifying. Double honor to the elder apostles, the great millstone. Peace and blessings unto the elect, and salute and shalom to the fellow laborers in His truth. And all praises and honor and glory be to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Shalom.